present, just the two of them in that room.
Jeff Bennett, one of our White House correspondents here in Brussels outside the NATO headquarters.
All right, joining us from Washington now, member of the House Armed Services Committee, Democratic Congressman John Garamendi of California. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us so early. Very much appreciated.
Good to be with you.
As you know, a very tense day one at the NATO summit in Brussels there. While we have you, I want to first get your reaction to what took place yesterday, specifically what we heard in that breakfast.
Well, it was disgusting. There's no other way to describe it. Germany and Europe, the Western European countries are our allies, and to publicly harangue Germany and to be so incorrect about the facts that he's using in harangue, there is absolutely no excuse for that kind of action by the President of the United States. The one person that is delighted with what happened is Putin. Putin has been all about disrupting the Western alliance, the European Union, going after elections throughout Europe, and certainly going after the United States elections. And here is the President of the United States haranguing, taking on the principal European country that we depend upon for so many different things, not just our economy, but our relationships and certainly NATO. It was disgusting.
What's your sense of the degree to which the President has been focused on funding of this institution, of the defense budget for NATO over anything else? You look at, as we just heard from Jeff there, the President's going to be talking about the mission in Afghanistan a little bit later. Yeah. I think the U.S. contributes 8,500 troops to that mission. Germany contributes the second largest amount, more than 1,000 troops to that mission in Afghanistan. Yes, there is the contribution of cash. There's also the contribution of other resources, isn't there? Well,
there's certainly other resources. Take a look at our fundamental bases are in Germany. We depend upon Germany for our principal bases. Not only the hospitals that are in Germany and Frankfurt, but the major military bases are in Germany. And they pay for us to be there. It's part of their contribution. It's not just about money. It's far more than money. This is a principal ally that has been in place since the end of World War II as a bulwark against the Russian aggression. And now we have Putin, who is clearly aggressive in trying to disrupt the European Union and NATO. And he's eminently successful in doing so. He has managed through a variety of things, involvement in elections, and principally helping elect President Donald Trump in creating discord, disarray, and hopefully not being able to meet his ultimate objective, which is to end NATO and to end the European Union so that the influence of Russia in that region can be expanded. We've seen what happens. We saw what happened in Crimea. We see what's happening in eastern Ukraine. I know that the Baltic states are really nervous about Russia having little green men and in taking over their countries. That's where NATO comes in. So it's a very, very serious problem. The one person that is happy, once again, about all of this is Putin, because he has been extraordinarily successful in his goal of disrupting, and his tool for that disruption is the President of the United States.
Congressman, do you really believe that the President is trying to end NATO altogether? We heard from Secretary Pompeo on Twitter yesterday saying that they very much appreciate the relationship that they have with the allies from NATO, that they understand the importance of the existence of NATO. So obviously some mixed messaging from the White House when we're hearing that from Pompeo, and then we heard what took place at the breakfast yesterday morning. And then you coming on the air now and saying that you believe actually the President is trying to end NATO altogether. Do you really think that is his incentive here?
Well, take his words. He has said throughout the campaign and before that NATO is obsolete. There's no need for it. Those are his words, not mine. So what is he doing? He is taking actions that disrupt, at least at the very minimum, discourage and diminish the role of NATO. He keeps haranguing the European countries, totally ignoring their contributions. Let's be very, very clear here. NATO is a mutual defense alliance. That mutual defense has been used once. This is Article 5. And that's when the United States was attacked in 9/11. NATO came to the assistance of the United States, and 17 years later continues to assist the United States in its war against terrorism. In Afghanistan, you mentioned a moment ago, 1,000 German troops. And that's not, and they have lost, and our NATO allies have, their soldiers have lost their lives protecting and assisting the United States in the one time that the alliance was used when the United States was attacked. And now the president is totally ignoring that and not adequately recognizing or dismissing, not even recognizing, but dismissing the fact that NATO is an alliance that provides the United States with extraordinary security, not just against Russia and in the war on terrorism. So I don't understand this, man. The one, as I said before, the one person in this world that is so delighted with what this president is doing is Putin. I cannot, although there are others who have made suggestions about why the President of the United States is cozying up to the Russian bear, it makes no sense in terms of our security, makes no sense in terms of our economic circumstances here. And toss on top of this, why did the president decide to engage in a trade war with the European Union, with Canada and Mexico, all of whom are our allies? Makes no sense unless you're trying to help Russia.
All right, Congressman, we appreciate you joining us so early. Thanks so much.
Certainly.
And Senator Mark Warner is